hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us names. I can feel the sunlight shining in.
Well, good morning. It's Monday, December 23rd, 2024, and welcome to episode 818 of the Lots Project Morning Show, where the coffee's strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything's always filter-free. I'm Brian, your host, and today I'm enjoying Brian's Blend from foodforestfarms.com, where you can get 10% off with discount code LOTS10. The Brian's Blend is going down smooth today. That is Brian's signature blend. He worked long and hard on that one to perfect it, and man, he did a great job. You can pick that up over at foodforestfarms.com. Like I said, LOTS10, LOTS10 for 10% off. Shipping is always free. A little late to get Christmas orders out for now, but if you're anytime you're looking for a gift or a bag of coffee to enjoy for yourself, you should check out foodforestfarms.com. Head on over there. Let them know Brian sent you. C4 Club is still strong and going, filling up fast. If you want to get in, definitely reach out to Brian, reach out to myself. I can tell you more about it, but try the coffee. It is fantastic. Today I'm going to be talking about a few new products I've been using that I've acquired over the last little bit. I've been using them. I'm really liking them. I'll talk about that. Progress delays out at the property. Well, I mean, we're just waiting in a holding pattern. We had some things go sideways. I'm going to talk about them in the last week. A little bit of a contest update for the clip contest and more. First, let's head over into the live chat, see who stopped in already, and we will get rolling for the day. Good morning. Sorry it's so dark. I don't know why it's so dark in my room today for the show. I flipped on the camera. I have this weird light glowing here. I tried cleaning the lens on the camera. I tried changing the light. I have no idea what's going on with that. And it just seems dark in here. So I don't know what's going on with that this morning. We'll make it work. Good morning, Rewilder Life. How we doing? Thanks for stopping in. Mike's Homestead, thanks for dropping by. Appreciate that. Man, it's been an interesting week. It has been an interesting week for sure. Last I talked to you guys, I was getting ready to the next day. Was on Monday, and then on Tuesday I was supposed to head across the state. Monday evening I was supposed to pick up a trailer, then come back here, head across the state on Tuesday, pick up a boatload of solar panels, bring them back and offload them. I talked about the fact that at the point I talked to you last week, I wasn't going to be able to get into the property to drop them off. The road was a mess. I talked about the lady that was stuck on the road, and I had already made contingency plans for what I was going to do with that, just because of being a long, heavy rented trailer. And I wasn't too thrilled about going back there, even if it was nice. But with the wet road, it was going to be even worse. So I made contingency plans for that. I had actually two options I was going to consider. And then on Monday, got done with the show. I was sitting here with Corey trying to figure out what time we were going to go pick up the trailer that evening. And I got a text message from the trailer rental guy. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to have to cancel your rental. The people before you returned it damaged, and I have to replace the axles. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm supposed to pick this shit up tomorrow, and it's not. It isn't like I can just run over to the U-Haul store and grab another one. I was renting a 20-foot equipment hauling trailer, so that threw a monkey wrench in the whole thing, and I was able to get a hold of the solar panel folks, and they were going to Rewilder Life says axles. Yeah. I think I'm guessing that whoever had it got it stuck in the mud and had to really dick around with it. We had a bunch of rain, and continued to get more rain, but it was a muddy mess in this area. So I'm guessing somebody with some equipment got stuck. I don't know. I haven't heard back from him yet, so I really should reach out to him today or whatnot and find out when that's going to be available. But yeah, basically he's just like, yeah, can't do it. It's broken. It's not going to work. So solar panel folks were kind enough to say that they would just leave them stored off to the side for me and to come get them whenever I can. So that threw a little hiccup in that plan. Canadian Farm said good morning and thanks for popping in. Appreciate that. So the solar panels are on delay. They're stuck on the other side of the state. I don't know when I'm going to be getting over there to get them, but I don't have anything to hook them to at the moment, really. Anyway, so it's not a horrible thing. They'll sit there, or they'll sit here. So it's it is what it is. But I was a little taken aback when the day of, the guy's just like, "Yo, no luck, no luck." I was trying to run through scenarios where it could have been a lot worse, moving equipment to a job site or some things like that. So at least it was easily taken care of. The road back to the property is, well, I'll find out today. I got to head back there today. From what I understand, it's pretty much dried up. Our friend that buried her vehicle on the road was finally extracted on Friday, I believe. I think it was Friday. Running through the days in my head of when we were out there and talked to folks. Yeah, I believe it was Friday. She finally got pulled out. She was buried in there for about a week. I wasn't confident enough to drive past her the way she was situated, and it was a little soupy where she was at. So even if the road had been drying up significantly, I probably wouldn't have attempted to drive back. Just because I didn't want to hit her vehicle and then be on the hook for that for some reason. You leave your vehicle stranded in the middle of the road and somebody hits it. I'm sure the type of person that leaves that there for that extended a period of time would definitely be blaming me for hitting it. So made trips out. Made it as far as Jamie's house and picking up mail and things and just scoping out the road. But it has dried up. It hasn't rained in like 4 or 5 days now, so that's nice. And from what I understand, it's dried up quite a bit. So that's good. That's good. We were in a pretty good cold snap this week. We just had a couple of nights down into the mid 20s, and we've been burning through firewood, and I chopped up the last of my standard pile. I have a little bit of a reserve in the truck, but I chopped up the last of our standard pile last night, and it's okay. It's supposed to get a little warmer today and into the week, but definitely have to get out and grab some more firewood for the camper because it's winter. It's winter. And so I was lucky before it started raining. I had a scope on the rain. I knew they had been doing the work on the road, and that if we got significant rain, it would probably get pretty non-passable for a little bit. So I did cut some extra wood. Brought extra wood back with me, and it looks like I brought just enough because I finally burned through it last night and into today, and the weather's warming up a little bit. But we still need to run it overnight. Ah, man, coffee's good. Coffee is good. So that's kind of update where we are out there. Not a whole lot of progress. Driveway couldn't be finished. Couldn't really be worked on because we couldn't get the church trucks in. The dump trucks with the rock couldn't get them in to dump it. A, because the road was a little soft, and B, because there was a vehicle half in the way. And I don't know if if the dump truck would have gotten past her on the road. So we didn't order that, but I did talk to the guy doing the work, and he needs some rock anyway, so he's going to take care of all that stuff. So I don't have to guess when he's ready for it or when he wants to get it out there. So basically, I'm hands off on that project. That will be in when it's in. It's cut in. It's a muddy mess of a hill, but the rock is coming soon. And when it shows up and he has a chance to spread it out, we will have a driveway up to the property. As far as the posts and the roof, I still have to get over to the metal supply and put a deposit down to get that rolling, which maybe it'll happen this week. Maybe it'll happen. It's tough with the holidays and everything coming around the holidays right now, and scheduling to get to places when you don't know if they're open or not. And with Christmas being in the middle of the week, with New Year's being in the middle of the week, it kind of is what it is. Another week is what it is. So we will see on that if that comes about this week, if we can get over there. Waiting on funds transfers and shuffling things around with folks here. I asked him what payment he takes, and he says, well, cash or check. And I just sighed because I don't remember the last time I wrote a check. It was actually, I believe it was for the purchase of our house, purpose of our farm. Would you say that was probably the last time we wrote a check, Corey? Was the purchase of our farm? Not too often. So, cash or check. What's up, Hunter? Good morning. How are we doing? How's it going today? Rewilder Life says I wouldn't take a check these days. Yeah, no shit. And is he going to take my out of state check with a different driver's license, different address than my driver's license and all that? Because I don't have any new checks. Like, it wasn't like I got my address in South Dakota and was like, oh, I should really order new checks. Hunter says, I don't envy you editing vids. What videos am I editing? Are you starting to edit videos, how-to videos and things like that? Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? I don't know what's going on with the camera and the lighting in here today, but man, it's absolutely horseshit. So yeah, cash or check, or and you could do a 2%, 2% or more. Jesus, 2% or more credit card fee, I believe. So weighing options and trying to figure out what to do with that. You know, Bitcoin fixes that. I need to onboard the guy into taking Bitcoin or something like that. That would be ideal. So let's see what is on the list today. New products I've been liking. One I've probably talked about before. I've had it for a while, and I'm systematically going through and testing it along with other products. I told you I picked up some coffee gear. I've done some videos on the coffee gear, but I've intentionally been evaluating the AeroPress for a while, 2 or 3 weeks now. So I do my French press, my standard French press in the morning, and drink that up, and then I have been making a single mug, 12 ounce, 16 ounce, smaller mug of one at a time. So the AeroPress is a single serve coffee maker, basically. It works. It's like a combination of a espresso machine, a French press. It is its own thing. It's been around a long time. I had never used one. I had been somebody suggested it to me, and it didn't really fit the needs I had with my schedule, how I made my coffee, how I consume my coffee. But with the change, with the change in the show format and a lot of different things, I've been able to take time and make a single cup of coffee after I have my French press. And I might actually be transitioning to that daily and getting rid of the 32 ounce and um, making 3 12 ounce, 16 ounce instead of making the 32 ounce. I might make them individually because I'm really liking the AeroPress, and I'm gonna move away from it for a while and try the final press, the other single serve extractor brewer. I don't even really know what the term would be. But I'm gonna go to that for at least a couple days and see if I can dial that in to work as well as the AeroPress. But man, the AeroPress has been phenomenal. The flavors that it brings out. Once I dialed in the grind size to use and the water kind of ratio, weight of the beans, and I dialed it all in. It has been phenomenal. So using different blends from Brian at Food Forest Farms, different beans that he's sent, it extracts the flavors so much different than the large French press. Another thing is it makes that single cup of coffee, and you consume it. It doesn't sit in the grinds in the French press like in here. You know, you press down the grinds, but they're still in the bottom, and it's still sitting there in contact. So that single cup is fantastic. The only thing I really don't like about it is the disposable filters. But the convenience of popping the puck of coffee out with the filter and just a quick little rinse. And that's what the person that suggested it way back in Toolman Tim's Telegram group, we were talking about camping setups. And I love that Coleman or the Stanley boil and brew. Basically, it's a cup you can boil the water in, make the coffee right in, and everything. But he said, you know, the cleanup is tough with a French press, especially when you're camping in limited water. And he said, check out the AeroPress. And I was like, yeah, you know, at some point I will. And man, I'm glad I finally did. You pop the puck out, and basically it's like a squirt of water to rinse a little bit of foam off, because when you push the plunger down in the AeroPress, it's got like a air gap above the water, and because it seals, and just by physics, it keeps that air bubble. And as it presses down everything, the only thing that's left on the plunger is just a little bit of foam. So I like it. They do sell replaceable filters for it, like the stainless steel or whatever other material filter for it that you rinse off and reuse. I don't know. I looked at the price of filters, and they're not horrible. And for the convenience and how easy it is to clean up, I'll probably stick with the paper filters and just roll them into a composting program with the coffee grinds and the filter, because they're pretty thin, and I think they break down pretty fast. But we'll see. We'll see. So the AeroPress I've been loving. If you're looking for a gift for some coffee person that's a little coffee snobbish, it does take some messing around with. You got to be willing to dial it in, and you're going to be grinding. You're going to want whole bean and be able to adjust the grind size to get it to work for you. I've been using what size grind? I guess it would be fine to medium fine grind. And that's been working great. And the other key thing that made it work better was the gooseneck kettle. pouring it with gooseneck kettle as opposed to a tea kettle or anything where the water is flowing out more has definitely changed how it performs. And so gooseneck kettle is key, and then dialing in that grind size, and then after that it's just a matter of taste, how much coffee you add in. So I would definitely recommend AeroPress if you want to try it, if you want gifts for anybody. That should be on the coffee gear list down in the video description. I believe it's still on there. The other product that I've been impressed with so far, and it's been less than a week, I guess, less than a week right now, that I've actually had it installed and using it. But as a Christmas gift, I picked up one of these Mopica Pro Check. And what that is a level gauge for propane tanks. So we use propane for pretty much everything except the wood heat, and so, you know, for our water heater, for our shower, for our refrigerator, and I think that's about it. But we go through propane quite a bit. We do 30-pound tanks on the front of the camper, swap them out. We got a 20-pound tank, like a grill tank, on our shower, which, by the way, never empties. I don't need the level check on that thing. That shower, if you're using one of those portable water heater, outdoor water heater, propane water heater, they use very, very little propane. So if you're contemplating getting one of those, and that's one of your questions, don't worry about that. But the other tanks go fairly quickly. I mean, every 2 weeks maybe. But basically what we had on there was one of the little pressure gauges that you screw in line. You hook it to your tank, and you hook it to the hose that hooks to the tank. It's got the two different fittings, and it's got a little dial on the top. And basically when the tank's full, the needle's pegged over in the green, and once you start using the tank, it kind of goes down into the middle, and when it's empty, it goes to the red. They're inexpensive. They're more expensive than they should be for how they work, but they're an inexpensive tool, inexpensive gauge. It's not really high quality or high tolerance. And just the way that propane tanks work, there isn't enough of a pressure gradient in the tank as it dissipates to be accurate on a pressure gauge like that. So basically what it's working on is the back pressure in the tank. And as you use it, it's supposed to evenly drop the needle down, and then at the end, it's empty, like a gas gauge in a car. But that works on a float level on liquid, and this is using back pressure to set the needle. It doesn't work very well because that's not really how liquid propane tanks empty. They have pressure until they don't. So the slight bit of drop in pressure doesn't allow that gauge to reflect accurately how much propane is in the tank. We've dealt with it since we took off. It isn't the biggest deal. It isn't really a huge inconvenience for us at the moment, because we do have that 2 week, like I said, it takes 2 weeks or more for that 30-pound tank to get used up. So I have plenty of time to fill the other tank, to fill the empty tank while the full one's on. If we were and I know where to get propane. I have several places I could stop to get it. When we were traveling, this would have been really nice, knowing how close we were to empty before we took off for a road trip where we were going to get someplace and wouldn't be able to get propane. If we were setting up and going to bed, we were going to have to need it overnight. helps a lot more for situations where you're using it for heat, and you might run out in the middle of the night. But basically, this level gauge sticks to the bottom of the tank, and it runs using sonar that pings up a signal into the bottom of the tank. It reads the level of the liquid propane. LP is actually stands for liquid propane. It's liquid at the pressure inside the tank, and expels as a gas. But it reads the level in the tank, and you read it out on your phone. So Bluetooth hookup, basically stupid simple setup. You hold a button and it shows up, and then you pick what type of material you're measuring, and the size of the tank and the shape of the tank. It's all pre drop down menus, and you name your tank, and there it is. It seems to be working fairly well, fairly accurate. I haven't checked it yet this morning. So I've been on it a few days. I've been watching it as it's progressing. Sorry, I want to pull it up and see. And the cool part is it works in the camper. So even in the living room, especially in the bedroom right there next to the propane tank, so you can see. Here we go. I got 84% in the tank. So it's yeah, Mike Sohn says it's liquid petroleum. Is it liquid petroleum or liquid propane? I don't think it's liquid petroleum, is it? Could be wrong. Huh. Interesting. I don't know. Wouldn't liquid petroleum be gasoline, diesel, or any sort of material like that? Interesting. I didn't think of that. Anyway, so the materials this would work for, listed on the package. We got water, oil, gasoline, diesel, propane or butane, or any other liquid amounts. So this is it's a liquid level monitor. to be short. Battery lasts, from what it says, 2 to 3 years, and it is replaceable. So you're not having to buy a new one when the battery runs out. They are kind of spendy. I think they're in the $60 range ish, per puck. I plan on moving mine back and forth between my 2 30-pound tanks, and then when we buy our larger tanks for the cabin, I'll get one for each tank. So we'll have 100-pound tanks, I'm guessing, on the cabin, and we'll probably have 2 of them. And they'll each have their own level monitor, so we'll be able to tell where they're at as they empty and be able to get them filled. And I think we'll have quite a bit of time to get them changed out. But just having that level monitor is nice. It's nice for sure. And you can swap them back and forth between different tanks if you want. If you wanted to check a tank, you can definitely pop it off. It's holds on by magnets is all, so it just bloop, pops right off. Put it on. Some people have run into issues with not having enough clearance. The rim around the bottom of the tank and the little gap in between. You know, you have your bottom, the curved bottom of the tank, and then the little rim that it sits on. If there isn't enough clearance, they send spacers that you basically put little feet on your tank and give it enough room for that. Mike Sum says his LP is composed of propane and butane. Okay. Liquid petroleum gas. All right, LPG. That's interesting. That's interesting to me. Um, hmm. I'm just thinking about the dispensers that we didn't ever get into servicing the mechanics of them. We did work on the electronic side of them, of the propane vehicle dispensers. Interesting, because I'm trying to remember the wording. It's not going to come to me. They had different names for it also, for like propane buses and things like that in Minnesota, at the fuel stations. So they were becoming more and more popular at the gas stations, and there were I'm trying to think of the wording. Hey, you learn something new every day. Thanks, Mike and Hunter, for the little lesson there. Didn't get much into that side of things, but regardless, it's measuring, it's working, and I'm happy with it. I'm way happier with it than the little gauge that we've been using for quite some time. It was always frustrating to go over and see it just kind of hovering in the middle. Mike says also have LNG, liquid natural gas. Okay, so yeah, the LNGs, there were stations, there were fueling depots that had the LNG, and then that might have been what I'm thinking of a couple specific locations, and I don't think they were LNG. Doesn't matter. Well, there you go. Little propane lesson this morning for myself and the listeners. So the Mopika Pro Check, I don't have a video up of it yet. That was a video that I made. I made a really long, nice video about installing it and hooking it up for the first time. And I went to hit stop on the record on the phone, and I had never hit start. So I can't really install it for the first time again. So videos will be in the works for that, but it seems to be working good. Mopika Pro Check Universal is the one we have. So, well, after the riveting propane conversation, let's move on to the clip contest going on for this show, and or the clip contest for this show, or Director Detour. Jim is really running away with it at this point. Canadian Farm says thanks, Hank Hill. Mike's Homestead, dealing in propane and propane accessories. Corey says I have a Hank Hill ass, so maybe I should get into propane. The clip contest over there, Jim is running away with it at the moment. You're going to want to get over and find Director Detour on Fountain, or grab this show, episode 816 or later. Make a clip. You get entered into the drawing for a Blockstream Jade. You got until the end of January. So go check out an episode of Director Detour and make a clip, or check them all out and make a couple clips. And then spread that clip around. I'm checking in daily to see the clips that are there and keeping track. And it's a runaway at this point. So definitely head on over to Fountain, make some clips. Director Detour this week, we got Kathy Nesbitt released this morning before I fired this up. that episode is out there. Kathy is an interesting lady for sure. She's up in Toronto or outside of Toronto now. But she deals in composting worms. She deals in sprouts, as in like bean sprouts and things like that. And she also is a master instructor. I think it was term was master instructor. She's a world renowned leader and guide in laughter yoga, which isn't necessarily what you think. So check it out. She was a blast to hang out with, and she does have a crazy little laugh that I was editing the episode and just found myself smiling listening to her laugh. And yeah, check that one out. Kathy Nesbitt. Also got Bo Bennett coming up this week. He's got a bunch of tech stuff going on, AI tech startups and the like. And Nick Barrett at the end of the week, 2 days after Christmas. Nick has the cord brick. The cord brick. You might have seen it. I think he was on Shark Tank and he was on a couple other shows, but the cord brick that it helps keep your cords and things secure on the desk. So you're going to want to check those out. Kathy Nesbitt, Bo Bennett, and Nick Barrett this week on Director Detour. Show's been going good. If you check it out, if you haven't checked it out so far, give it a share, give it a listen, and definitely make a clip and get yourself entered into the drawing for the Blockstream Jade. Things have settled down with Bitcoin price here sitting at 96,102. That is actually up, so that's good. Got over that 100,000 mark and had a little bit of volatility in the last week or so. Dropped down. It's okay. We'll be all right. Talking about Nick Barrett, Shark Tank, and cord brick and things like that. Corey and I found some new shows to watch on Amazon. One of them was it was similar to a Shark Tank knockoff. I think it was called the Buy It Now. Is that what the name of that show was, Corey? Buy It Now? Okay, so it was Buy It Now. Basically Amazon's version of Shark Tank. They would have entrepreneurs come on at different stage. They were in different stages of product development or launch, I think, where they were all launched. Different stages of their business and how long they had been around, and there's different sales and whatnot. Basically, they pitch an audience of 100 folks, and the folks decide if they would buy it or if they're interested in it. They get to ask the audience gets to ask a couple questions, and then they reveal a price point. And basically, if they get 10 people to buy in on their product, then they go to a group of judges, 3 judges. Every episode, the dude that sold Ring to Amazon, the Ring camera, he's on there. And then folks from Amazon, one of the spots is always an executive from Amazon, and then a celebrity guest is the other one. I think they've had Tony Hawk, they've had Gwyneth Paltrow, that Anderson guy. I can't think of what his first name is. Anthony Anderson. Thanks, Corey. So Anthony Anderson, some interesting products on there. It was interesting to watch. It was. Canadian pharmacist says those titans of industry. I don't know. The guy that sells Ring camera gets shot down on Shark Tank and rebrands and tweaks it a little bit and ends up selling it to Amazon for over $1 billion. I mean, that's all right. Executives that have been working for Amazon for decades or more, and actually both of the ones that I recognize their names send me emails semi-regularly through not me, but the send newsletters out to Amazon affiliates. And Gwyneth Paltrow, I told Corey when we were watching it, I was like, not a fan of hers. Not a huge fan of hers, but I definitely can recognize what she's done. What she's done with Goop and her building her business and launching products and things like that. You can't, I mean, hate the game, but well, what is it? Hate the player, don't hate the game. Something like that. She's done what she's done. She's done what she's done. But lots of cool products on there if you want to check it out. Basically, if they get past the audience, they get past the judges, they end up getting rolled into the Buy It Now store on Amazon, which is like a select group of products, I guess. I don't know if it was specifically for the show or if there was other products in there also, but these products got listed in there. And there's some pretty cool stuff. There was some pretty cool stuff. Wide range, anywhere from beauty products to camping products to kitchen products to one guy was making spices. Think knockoff of Shark Tank. So it was decent. If you got Prime and you're looking for something to check out, I think there was 13 episodes. And then we also watched the first 2 episodes of the Mr. Beast show that he's making, Beast Games. I don't know. I don't know what the names of this shit is. I just watch it. And I know enough that I can tell Corey what we should watch, and she knows what I'm talking about. But basically, Mr. Beast from YouTube fame and all over fame now has he came up with a TV show where he's going to give away millions and millions and millions of dollars, and it's been interesting to start. I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting is the word if you haven't watched it. And I guess 2 episodes have been released, and it comes out every Thursday night or every Thursday day. I don't know, but once a week they're going to come out with a new one, and it's basically like an elimination game. They started with 1,000 people, and they're going to end up getting down to 1 to give away $5 million or some shit. I don't know. It's yeah. You have to check that out for yourself. Worked on the bird feeder live stream a little bit yesterday. I'm still hung up with the Raspberry Pi, getting that working. I was able to fire it up yesterday on the computer. We let it run for quite a while, and it seems like I didn't have the lagging problems as I did yesterday or the time before. As far as the point in time where we're at, I changed some settings in OBS, and the last time it was basically just delaying, and every time it delayed, it got further and further behind. I changed some settings in OBS, and I feel like it was pausing quite a bit, but it wasn't retracting to the time. It wasn't getting further and further behind. It was buffering, pausing, and then continuing at current time. So I think we ran it for several hours yesterday, and we was still within a minute at the end. So one issue solved. Getting the Raspberry Pi to run the whole system, I don't know how long that's going to take. And until I have that going, I don't think it's really going to be a 24/7 thing. But yeah, it works well when we have it up. The Wise camera through the window on the window feeder is pretty clear. We get a ton of traffic at the bird feeder. It is definitely busy from the time the light comes up until light goes down. it is a steady flow of birds on the one that we have the camera on. We actually have 3. Now you can see the second one. When Corey and I went grocery shopping on Friday, she got a new bird feeder. She got another new bird feeder. They were 20% off at Tractor Supply, so we picked one up, and just different style. And now this one hangs in the light or in the camera view also. And so, yeah, I think what are you up to, 7 or 8 different types of birds? So she's at 7. She's identified 7 or 8 different types of birds that have come and visited the feeders, and so just piddling away on getting those live streams started. It's a long-term project. I think ideally that'll be something that we can have at the cabin. It's still a little wonky here to do it with having to put the insulation in the windows and things like that. And move back and forth, and just the setup, it's jumping through hoops to make it happen, but all the information and all the little tricks and things that we learn along the way will be transferable when we get to set up some live stuff at the new place. So I have a feeling at this point that I'm just going to have to bite it and buy a little bulkier, a little more robust computer of its own. I guess I'll probably just buy another one of these small desk jets or something to run those. Hey, K-Bonk, good morning. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. And he says, I made it. Yay. Yeah, for sure. So learning and realizing the limitations of the equipment, and we'll make it work. Make it work. These little desktops aren't that expensive, and shouldn't be bad. We'll figure it out. So that's the live stream, the bird feeder live stream, things like that. It's been going well. I figured out how to stream it from the camera to Noster and then forward that on to YouTube. So that was an accomplishment there. Was able to figure that out and let that run for a while. Let's see what's else on the list here. So I don't know if I told you guys about the big fire that happened in Savannah, Tennessee, not Savannah, Georgia, where I go to get groceries, right on the Tennessee River, down about 20 minutes south of us. So there was a construction project going on in Savannah, Tennessee. They were putting a big hotel right on the river. If you've ever come into Savannah down here on, I think it's Highway 69. Ooh, 69. But you come in and it's a 4-lane split highway. You go over a big old bridge over the Tennessee River, and you're coming down into Savannah, and off to the right, there was a boat launch, kind of like a public boat launch with a big parking lot where we've actually seen riverboats pulled in there. Corey and I have gone and hung out there, checked out the river, walked around. It's just like a public boat launch with a big ass parking lot. Next to it, they were actually building a new, I can't remember what the name, bless you, Corey, what the name of the company that was built. Sleep In, maybe? But basically they were putting a big, like, 5-story hotel. It was going to have a little conference center. I think they were going to run tourism stuff in the river, things like that. I think it was Sleep In. Not Sleep In, I-N, Sleep In, I-N-N. What's up, Pip? And so this thing had been, I've been watching it go up. They cleared the area, they did all the groundwork, they laid in the plumbing. Going there to Savannah at least once a week to get groceries, I was going by this and watching the progression. When they're building something in your neighborhood or on the way to work or things like that, you watch a large scale construction project like that develop. They were to a point where they had several floors. They weren't finished. They were framed in. They had weather barrier on the outside. It was getting there. It was getting there. I had, from watching it outside, I had assumed tradesmen were inside, probably running electrical, running HVAC, whatever. But the shell was there. One morning, fired up the old interwebs, and the thing was on fire. One morning about 5 a.m., it just went up, and a construction site like that goes pretty quick. And man, it burned to the ground, like to the ground. Corey and I drove by the other day, and she hadn't seen it yet. She's like, "Holy shit!" There were a couple of girders, a couple of I-beams, and a little bit of framing, all metal left around the bottom, but pretty much the structure was gone. From being a 4 or 5 story white building because of the weather wrap and whatnot, down to nothing. It's kind of a shocking. K-Bonk was wondering if it was 100% wood construction. No. Well, at the bottom there was some, it looked like girders, I-beams or something still there, but it almost looked like it was for a parking ramp or a parking structure. It was kind of off to the side and just like the little corner of it. So maybe all wood. There was jack shit left. So the majority of it was wood, or something combustible. But when it happened, I mean, it was like the fire was at 5, and by like noon, they were like, "Yeah, it's just total loss." It was just sitting there smoldering, and so the mayor of the town and the police chief and the fire chief, the rumor mill starts. As soon as something like that happens, the rumor mill starts. Foul play. There is the racism in the South still runs deep. Let me tell you, there were lots of veiled messages about some new Americans that may be running gas stations and hotels in the area that may not have liked this thing being built. Suspicious activity. And there was a cry from the officials to say, stop spreading rumors. Wait for investigation. Wait till we determine what happened. We can't tell right now if any foul play is involved, blah, blah, blah. Right off the bat, just stop the rumor mill. And I just kind of chuckled, and I was like, go figure. All these folks think that somebody did it, and they have their suspects already, blah. It is what it is. So that was a couple weeks ago. Wilder Life says it must have been hit by airplanes to melt the girders, right? So this was a couple weeks ago. I think she burned down. What about a couple weeks ago now? The other day on Facebook, I see in one of the local groups there, actually all the local groups were sharing it. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigations is now asking for the public's help for any information regarding the fire at the Sleep Inn construction site. $5,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest of the arsonist that burned down the Sleep Inn. So they've done a complete 180. Now they're calling for all of the tips and rumors that people were suggesting right after it happened, and even offering a $5,000 reward for you to snitch on whoever you think burned down the Sleep Inn. So my favorite ad said, burn an arsonist and get $5,000. How do I get a job writing catchy little things like that for the TBI? Canadian Pharmacist says, what are you going to do with the 5K? I mean, if I could swing just a generic I think somebody burned it down with fire. I don't know if they'll give me $5,000 for that. Hunter says, I mean, if the tip came from Brad at the bar when Bobby said, I'm going to burn that shit down. Yeah, Corey was wondering if it was obscuring anybody's view. I think it was money. And I'm also wondering, the conspiracy theorist in me is wondering if they realized that might not have been the ideal location and might have had a big old insurance policy on it. I mean, we'll see if they rebuild it. But yeah, all of a sudden the TBI has been around here quite a bit lately. K-Bonk having some Food Forest Farms Silver Bullet. Yeah, the Silver Bullet's phenomenal, except it's gone. It's gone. Canadian Farm said has a great idea. Use AI to comb through all the comments. They took them all down as the people were throwing out their theories and with no proof at all. They started taking them down. But K-Bonk says that Silver Bullet is good. It is fantastic. But that Monsu Malabar is adios. So you get it when you get it. You get it when you get it. So TBI has been around here quite a bit. There was an officer involved shooting. There was a random. I think they were classifying it as road rage at one point. That's something that's been eating at me that is on my list here to talk about. So the two scenarios that happened. Let me tell you what actually happened here. So one day last weekend, so this was back-to-back days. It was not 2 days ago, but a week before that. Selmer, Tennessee, not very far from here. Update before I talk about those two stories. Hunter was asking if we got a notable, at least got a notable mention in the Christmas decoration contest. Dude, we are so out of our league around here with the Christmas decorating contest. We have 0 mannequins, no skeletons, no Santa Clauses with their heads removed or shit, nothing like that. But by the Christmas miracle, half our Christmas lights started working all of a sudden. The half that were completely ripped out of the solar panel, they aren't working, and it would definitely be a Christmas miracle for them to work. But we were both under the assumption that both sets were bad, and one has been working the last few nights, and it was I think Baby Jesus and Santa Claus rubbed their noses together and made my lights work. But it made me happy because I was a little depressed that our lights didn't work. A, because we spent $50 on lights for one day, and B, because it's just dark and crappy, and the lights make me smile a little bit. So Yeah, half the lights are working again. So, but we are so out of our league in this neighborhood with all the decorations that the people do all year round, let alone just Christmas. So back to these two shootings. So Selmer, small town, smallish town. Cop who was a townie cop and also a deputy for the county sheriff's office was responding to a call of a suspicious man outside a house. I guess it was a burglary type situation or something like that. Popo rolls up, gets in a firefight, shoots the guy shoots him, cop dies, suspect dies. The whole world is in mourning, back to blue. The earth is coming to a standstill for a little bit while we stop and post our pictures of the blue line and change our Facebook profiles. And yeah. Cop responded, doing his job, a dangerous job that he signed up for, gets plugged. And yeah, it's one of those situations. So that happened on Saturday. The next day in Savannah, where I was telling you about the fire happening, there was reports of a road rage incident and a shooting, and I was like, okay, I just happened to be scrolling through, checking the news and this and that on the local Facebook groups, and it was a developing story. And so it caught my eye and I kept watching it a little bit. And it turns out that, and the details are still really not out there. And this is part of my issue with the whole thing. But a mother and a 3-year-old daughter had gone to see Santa Claus and stopped at Walmart on the way home. And it sounds like there was some sort of interaction in the parking lot. Guy followed her home. She pulled in her driveway. Guy popped out of his vehicle with a rifle, an AR style rifle, and popped her and her daughter. She died. Daughter shot, survived. Guy lost his fiance and almost his daughter in a blink because some guy followed him home and capped him in their driveway. Which is the tragedy, guys? Which is the tragedy here? Because I heard for a fucking week about this cop. There was a parade from Memphis to Selmer with cops for miles flashing their lights. They had a Sea of Blue celebration. They closed half the fucking county down for the guy's funeral. For a guy that signed up to be a cop, that I hope he full well knew that the job is dangerous, that there's a chance that any day he goes to work that he's not coming home, that he put the badge on, he took the paycheck, and something bad happened. And I don't necessarily want to see anybody die. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. But the word tragic and tragedy blew around for days and days. What was tragic was a lady took her kid to see a fucking Santa Claus, and she ends up dead in her fucking driveway. Canadian Farm says, can't they both be tragedies? They can. But I think one should garner a little bit more attention than it got, and the other should get a lot less. She didn't sign up to be put in a dangerous position. Her daughter didn't sign up to be put in a dangerous position. Hunter says at least when one of us dies on the job site, we get vacation for 3 days. I don't know. the nation, the statewide alerts when a cop gets shot. The immediate response, the visceral response when cops get shot. Cops are signing up. I'm not saying they're signing up to get shot. I'm not saying they're, but when people are just blown away when it happens, when and the ladies that died and the girl that has no mom now because of a random shooting. And the story disappears. Mike Homestead said, how did she not know he followed her? Doesn't lessen things, but have some situation awareness. I mean, what situational awareness could have prevented someone from walking out as she was getting her daughter out of the driveway and shooting her? I mean, there isn't enough information out there because it just disappeared. Probably overshadowed by the cop, the Sea of Blue celebration and the procession from Memphis to Selmer, and the whole county shutting down for a funeral. Maybe that's why we don't know what actually happened. Maybe she did know. Maybe she was trying to get away from him, evade him. I don't know. It would be nice to know. But it all disappeared because it happened to happen on the same time as a cop got shot, doing a job that he fully well signed up for and knew was dangerous when he did. Like I said, I don't want to see anybody die. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. But I think that's part of the job. That's a chance that it's going to happen. So I did say it. Mike's Homestead says he says I thought I said they had an encounter at the store and she was shot in the driveway. The very limited information that came out said that they had an interaction in the parking lot of Walmart. What that interaction is, I don't know. Maybe she didn't wait for him to pull out in front of her. Maybe he pulled out in front of her. Maybe she pulled out in front of him. Maybe they fought in the parking lot. Maybe they had argument inside. I don't know what the extent of the altercation at Walmart was, but they said that they had made contact at Walmart. Mike says, promise you if I get shot in the situation, it won't be in my driveway. I understand. Canadian Farm says people find it more shocking when a cop gets killed because they have a false perception that cops stop crimes. So how could a crime happen to a cop? Cops don't stop crimes. Cops investigate crimes. When very, 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 very to protect and serve. I don't know. It was just a glaring example of that's why that's why you said false perception. I was being sarcastic. Sorry. It was just a glaring example of an actual, what I would say, tragedy, because we don't know if the interaction was enough to even warrant someone being suspicious of someone following them. We don't know what set that guy off. Maybe the lady's kid was screaming in the store and the guy had just had enough. And he followed her home. Canadian Pharmacist says mental health epidemic. Obviously, something has a lot of people on edge. That wasn't the only 2 shootings in the area in the last few days, or in the last couple of weeks, I should say. We don't know. And there's probably articles out there. It just isn't front page news. And I think one over the other should really be being pushed as a tragedy, should be really being exposed to folks, like Mike says, for situational awareness, for a reminder that this stuff could happen to you and me, or your sister, or your wife, or your kids, or your neighbors. Instead, we focus on someone that chose to be in that situation. I don't know. Anyway, that was I heard that. I heard what happened, and that the little girl was in the hospital. Her mom was dead on arrival to the hospital. She didn't even have a chance. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? And so I tried to follow along, and it just disappeared. Maybe it was an ex-boyfriend. Maybe it was a domestic assault. Maybe a lot of things. But I'm guessing that she didn't sign up to have it happen. And I know the cop didn't sign up to have himself shot, but I think it comes along with putting the badge on. So anyway, he's in the ground, and I think she had her funeral, and we move along into the Christmas season. Anybody got any big plans for Christmas? Corey and I are gonna hang out here. we haven't got a whole lot going on. Hunter says an armed society is polite society. Was she armed or was she rude? I don't know. Pip says he's staying home and cleaning the guns just in case Santa comes rolling down the chimney. I'm guessing. Canadian Farm says heading to my folks to celebrate with family. Yeah, I mean, Corey and I are gonna hang out, and we're gonna do FaceTime with the family up in Minnesota, and we'll call my folks in New York, and we're gonna hang out. We'll go for a walk on the property. I don't know. She's got just Christmas Day off. She's the trooper at work. She work Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas, and Christmas on a Wednesday was always kind of either it was really good or really bad. Either you took like 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's, or you got like a half a day on Tuesday and Wednesday off, and then back at it on Thursday. It's not like that long weekend or anything like that. So it was just one of those years, and we've been kind of celebrating Christmas for the last few weeks with presents showing up and things like that. So it's going to be a slow one for us. Hunter's his last one. Yeah, it's Wednesday Christmas is rough. Wednesday Christmas is rough. Pip's wondering, do y'all get a half a day on Christmas Eve? Corey doesn't get a half a day on Christmas Eve. I used to, at a lot of manufacturing facilities I worked at, we would end up getting a half a day on Christmas. And I think we'd get a half a day. We get a half a day on Christmas Eve and a half a day somewhere else. And then they said that that was an extra holiday we got. K-Box hanging out at home. You guys feeling the Christmas spirit this year? Corey and I, since we left Minnesota, and we're not in the full swing of winter as it used to be with piles of snow and negative degrees and all that. That first year we went, we were in Texas, and it was like 60 degrees in the end of December, and we walked into a restaurant to have some dinner, and there was a Christmas tree there, and it was lit up. There had Christmas music playing, and it was both of us realized that it was the first time that we had realized it was Christmas time, and it was like 2 days. It was not very long until actually Christmas. So, so it's been weird since we left. Seasons are all out of whack. With the Christmas lights getting broken and that, and we both kind of figured that it was either a bird got hung up in the wires, or B, a cat that was hunting the birds at the bird feeders got hung up in the wires, and yeah. Hunter says not enough Christmas spirit, but it's more this year than it's been in a long time. Pip says only Christmas spirit I have is in a shot class currently. Canadian Farmstead's wondering why Santa spent so much time on test flights over New Jersey. Yeah, what's going on with the drones, guys? I kind of checked out on that one. I was like, no one's going to tell us the truth regardless of what it actually is. Well, we're not going to ever hear the truth. So all it is speculation, and a bunch of people that don't actually know talking about things they don't actually know are true, or K-Box waiting for the Bitcoin dip. I don't know what's going on with the drones, guys. I have suspicions, but that's all they are suspicions, and it doesn't really matter. doesn't really matter. So let's see. I don't think I have anything else on my list either. Like I said, director Detour this week, Kathy Nesbitt, Bo Bennett, and Nick Barrett. Kathy, you're going to want to listen to Kathy Nesbitt's episode and check her stuff out. Like I said, she does this thing called laugh yoga. It wasn't what I thought it was, for sure. You might know what it is. You might have heard of it. You might have participated in it. If you haven't, definitely check out the episode and find out what the laugh yoga is all about. K-Bonk's waiting for the Bitcoin dip. I think we're dipping, man. I think we're dipping. I think this would be your dip. I think it's I think we're going to go for a ride again before we have another significant pullback. Maybe. We'll see. I can't remember. I guess it would have been way different with the last cycle and the pending inauguration, but I don't know. I think eventually you'll see prices below this and maybe significantly, but I don't know if it's going to be before a run up and then a significant pullback. Only time will tell. I don't think that this cycle is going to fit the mold. I think it'll be close. I think there's a lot of other factors involved at this point, but we'll see. We'll see. No predictions yet. Yeah, you guys got anything else you want to talk about? I can stick around for a little bit. Corey's got a little bit of a different schedule this morning. I don't know where this shiny light shit's coming from. My camera might be going bad. Can you see the glow? You can hope, K-Bonk. You can definitely hope for a dip. I've really come to the conclusion that it's all a dip right now compared to what the future holds. So I don't think it's going to matter. I don't really think it's going to matter. Canadian Farm says I have a lovely glow this morning. Thank you. I don't know where it came from. I worked on it for about 10 minutes before the show when I pulled the camera up, and I had have this like streak here. I have glowy shit coming off my mug. I just don't know what's going on with the camera. So I got a while to figure it out. I'll be back on. I'll be back again next Monday, and I shut down interviews. I busted it out as fast as I could with director Detour interviews, and it is I'm shut down until actually January 7th. So that's good. Got some time to get ahead on episodes. I did take a break from editing last week and got a little behind, but not horrible. Nothing delayed release of an episode or anything, but I'd like to be farther ahead. But have till January 7th till I got to record another one. Maybe we'll pop on later this week. I don't know. Wish you guys Merry Christmas, or I don't know. Nothing scheduled by any means, but we'll see how the week goes. Other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic Christmas. We'll be hanging out here. Can always find a lively chat at the Telegram chat at t.me/LotsChat. That's t.me/LotsChat. Dump in there and strike up a conversation. Ask a question. We got a bunch of great folks in there with a whole bunch of knowledge across the board. And you can find out all sorts of fun answers and have a good time. We'd like to joke around and have a good old time over in the Telegram chat, t.me/LotsChat. Have a Merry Christmas, guys. I hope your week goes well. If you got to work through the week and you get Christmas off, enjoy the day off. If you get to spend it with family, if you're going to spend it alone, find someone to talk to if you need. We're all here. We'll be around, and maybe I'll talk to you that day. Thanks for hanging out this morning. I appreciate it. Definitely check out the video description. You can find links to Amazon storefront, some product lists on Amazon, the Fold debit card. Haven't talked about that in a while, but man, earn Bitcoin for using your debit card, for using your cash, and let that stack up. You would be amazed how much it stacks up over time and accumulates. What else is down there? It's YouTube channel, Amazon storefront, and Blockstream Jade. I believe the Blockstream Jade sale is going on through the first of the year. I haven't really found when it ends, but basically a buy one get one half off sale on Jade. You can head on over to the Blockstream store, use code The Lots Project, and you'll get an extra 10% off of that deal. They are stackable, so you get a buy one get one half off and 10% off. So check that out at the Blockstream store. Link is down in the episode description. Guys, hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great week. Have a very Merry Christmas, and we will talk to you again soon.